Hi everyone. Uh, I believe I am live on Instagram. How's everybody doing? Hello, good afternoon from here in Calgary. I'm also live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you're following me there, you can actually follow me on those pages. I'm going to be reviewing a document. But if you choose to follow me on Instagram for the live, go to my story. I linked the PDF there so you can actually view it while we review it and discuss. So we're really talking about the global state of business analysis. That's what we're talking about today. Um, Let me just check in with people on. Hi, Adenike. Fantastic. So I'm live on LinkedIn. Okay, that's awesome. Fantastic. All right. Okay. So we're going to get started. How's everyone doing? Hope you had a good week and you didn't spend all your money, on Black Friday buying things that you probably would need. I'm also very careful what I'm spending right now because I don't really go anywhere. So maybe blouses, but not pants anymore. I don't know. But anyways, so we're going to get started real soon. I'm just going to be sharing the document right now. So we're going to be talking about the global state of business analysis, and we're going to be looking at the insights from last year, right? So the insights from last year, we're going to be looking at that. And that's because the insights for 2021 are going to be out next week. So I want us to actually look and see, how has business analysis evolved, through the last year, and what are the opportunities for you. I recently shared. Hi, Andre. How are you? Hi, Yemo. Yemo Toye. Right. I recently shared something, and that was the fact that there's such a high demand for business analysts right now. There's like a surge, in the job market for business analysts. Why? Why do you think that's happening? What do you think is the reason? I have my own thoughts. What about you? So for me, there is this surge, in business analysis simply because, COVID happened. And as much as, COVID is something that, has a negative connotation to it, being that, people have lost their lives, it is a virus that we're struggling to sort of, get out of that whole pandemic. It's also affected businesses, right? So, businesses that weren't online had to find a way to get online to meet their customers, right? People were not going into the stores anymore. People were not going to work anymore. So companies had to become digital, right? They needed to become digital and find ways to meet their customers where they are, find ways to ensure that their employees are happy. People lost family members, people got sick, making sure that people could still work from anywhere in the world. So things have really, really changed over the past 2 years globally. And I believe that the world won't return to the way it was before. A lot of companies have gone fully remote. So people have really packed up their bags, moved countries, moved to different places simply because they can work from anywhere. Now, the thing is, when we have this kind of surge, especially with technology, there's a good side and the bad side. Good side is we're adapting, right? But we need to also find ways to implement those changes, make sure that those changes are right, make sure we do it the right way, make sure we carry our people along. So that's where business analysts come in, right? We're going to change our processes, things that we used to do in person are now virtual, onboarding our staff, hiring, onboarding, our meeting our customers, providing value to our customers. Everything is now fully online, it's digital, and that is why that change requires business analysts, because wherever anything is changing, the business analyst has to be involved. So that's the reason why we're seeing a lot of surge in the demand for business analysts, is because of digital transformation. So basically going online, using digital technology to make things better. Also, there's a boom in the tech industry. There's a lot of money, a lot of funding for tech companies. I think in the past 2 years, we've seen more tech companies sprout, right? People are willing to, are now ready to, put their ideas from paper, into solutions, creating MVPs. There's funding, there's a lot of accelerator programs, incubation programs for tech companies. So there's a lot of new tech companies. People who work in the big tech companies also are taking their experience and going to start their own companies. You see two people, or someone from Google and Amazon or Google and Microsoft, come together as startup founders and they start their own thing, right? So there's so many opportunities right now. And this is in every industry, right? So every industry needs technology. Every industry is trying to adapt. So we're going to be looking at the 2020 business analysis state, looking at what was predicted, what were the things that we saw in the past year, and what's going to happen in the new year. So, like I said, I'm going to be reviewing this document. So, if you can go to my story, right, download the document so you can review it alongside me as I do it, or you can actually go to LinkedIn and you will see it there. Okay, so let's get started. I really like to, when I do things, I like to look at things, look at the facts, right? Like, what are the facts behind this? What are the numbers behind this? Why is this happening? That's how I do things. So I want us to review this together and let's see, what's happened, what's happening in business analysis. What are the things that are affecting these things? What are the things that are driving these changes, and what's in it for you? So we're going to be looking at different regions, right? According to the IIBA, there's 3 regions, right? The first region is the North America region. The second region is the Asian region, and then the Asian region and the the Europe, the UK, and then we have Africa, and some other Asian countries in that region as well. So let's look at some things. This is pretty interesting. So what we're seeing is that based on the age of people that work in business analysis, that most of the people who work in business analysis are 25 to 35 years old. So there are young people, right? Globally, this is a global facts, right? Most of the people in the business analysis space are young people. So most of them are 25 to 35 years old, right? And that's because these are people who are, they are young, they're creative, they're vibrant, they have lots and lots and lots of creative and analytical skills that they're bringing to the workplace, right? And globally, in the business analysis space, 40% are female, 59% are male, and 1% are non-binary. And then when it comes to education, based on the top 5 countries globally, 11% of people in business analysis have an associate's degree or a college diploma. 40% have a bachelor's degree, 35% have a master's, and only 2% have a PhD. So basically, to get into business analysis, you don't need to have an MBA or a PhD. Most people have a basic diploma or a bachelor's degree. So that's really all that you need. Okay, now let's talk about employment. Hi, Tola. Let's talk about employment now. With regards to employment, 80% of business analysts work full-time. Now, what we're seeing as a but I announced it. Earlier. So maybe you should just follow me, Oluwa JP. Maybe you should just go to my LinkedIn. Just Eka on LinkedIn. You find me there. Okay. So I don't know if I'll be able to. I won't be able to put it here. Unfortunately, I can't put it here. I wish I was able to put it there, but I can't. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's continue. So about 80% of business analysts work full-time, 3% work part-time, 8% work as contractors or consultants, and 5.5% are self-employed, while 3% are students and 0.5% are retired. Okay. Years of experience. 18% of business analysts have less than 2 years of experience. 46% of business analysts globally have 2 to 10 years of experience. 17% have 11 to 15 years of experience, while 19% have 16 years or more experience, right? So what we can see is that we have more business analysts who have about 2 to 10 years of experience. So if you have 2 to 10 years of experience, you're good. With 18% have less than 2 years of experience. What we can see is that no matter your years of experience, you can still be in this field. All right. Okay. All right. So now let's look at employment status. So what we see is that for a lot of business analysts, they've been with their companies for less than 2 years. Now, the truth is, in the business analysis space, in the business analysis space, it's very, very common to see people change their roles within 2 to 3 years, being that business analysts are generally, I don't know what's up with my Instagram. Okay, it's fine now. Business analysts are people who generally, they like something new, they want new challenges, and the industry is very vibrant. So you can actually work in manufacturing today, work in banking in 2 years. In 3 years' time, you could work in healthcare. So that's like a fun part of business analysis. So like 47% of the people, globally in business analysis have been with their employers for 2 years, while about 23% have been with employers for 3 to 5 years. And another 23% have been with employers for 15 years. So it's totally up to you if you want to stick with one employer, stick in one industry, or you want to explore, change industries and all of that. Okay. All right. What we can also see here is that 35% of business analysts globally work for large organizations. These are organizations that have over 5,000 employees. So what we see is that more business analysts work in big companies. And that's because a lot of the big organizations, big companies, actually have their own business analysis teams that are working across all the levels of the business, from operations to strategy, to the tactical level. They're working on across all the levels of the business. They have a business analysis manager, they have a director, they're working on multiple projects at the same time. So for really big companies, think about your big fours, your big techs, your big pharmaceutical companies, all those kind of companies have their own business analysis teams. So let's look at salary, right? So when it comes to salary, the first part of the salary analysis is by region, right? So when we look at the North American region, we can see from 104 to 80,000 to 104,000 from Canada to the US. In the United Kingdom, we see around $83,000, and Australia around $99,000, and India $15,000. Okay. All right. So globally, we can see that women earn more than men in business analysis globally, right? We can see that the average woman in business analysis earns about $72,000, while the men earn around $66,000. In 2020, the global women's salary was 9% higher than men in business analysis. So this was globally. Okay, so there is definitely that opportunity for a lot of women to get into business analysis. Why do you think that there are more women, and why do you think women are earning more in business analysis? Let me know in the chats why you think that's the case. Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think women earn more than men in business analysis globally? Let me know in the chat. I'd like to know what your thoughts around this, okay? All right, okay. Now, the next thing we're going to be looking at is the expected salary increase globally. So according to the insights, 32% of the respondents say that they received a salary increase of 1 to 3%, while 26% didn't receive a salary increase, right? So these are, some things to also note, that a lot of people are able to increase their salaries either by promotions or, changing their jobs. Okay. Now let's also look at the career opportunities, in business analysis, right? 3% of the global business analysts are executives or CEOs or owners of businesses. 4% are in senior management. they're VPs or directors. 13% are managers, 41% are in senior levels, 28% are in mid-level management, and 11% are entry-level business analysts. Now, 79% of business analysts typically work in the private sector, 12% work in government, 4% in academics, education. A lot of the academic institutions actually hire lots of business analysts. So if you've ever been in the academics, you can actually look out for business analyst opportunities there, and 5% work in nonprofits. Okay. Now let's look at typical job titles that some business analysts have globally. Well, the normal title of business analyst, general. Some are working in hybrid roles as well. That's 14%. So they don't exactly have a business analyst job title, but they're carrying out business analyst roles. And that's a lot of us really. A lot of us are carrying out business analysis without having the title. Okay. 6% have the title business systems analyst. 7% have business analyst / project manager. 7% have IT business analyst. 5% are managers, directors, or VPs, and 3% are business consultants. So these are different job titles of business analysts globally. Okay. Now, the top industries where business analysts work globally, right? 27% work in information technology, 25% work in banking, insurance, or finance. 7% of business analysts work in the healthcare or the pharmaceutical industry. 7% work in government, and another 7% work in several other industries. Now, globally, according to the insights, 2020 insights, that it shows that globally, the manufacturing industry pays the highest with around $87,000 globally. Government follows with around $84,000. Consulting professional services follows with $82,000. Healthcare follows suit with $81,000, while transportation and logistics industry follows suit. So basically, the 5 top industries globally for business analysis are manufacturing, government, consulting and professional services, healthcare, and transportation. This is really interesting because when we start looking at the different countries, it tends to change. But globally, this shows that these are actually the top paying industries where BAs work all around the world. So if you have experience in manufacturing, consulting, you work in the government, healthcare, transportation, logistics industry, these are also things you can start looking at as we move into the new year. Okay. Now let's talk about career development. So I'm actually reviewing a document. I shared the link on my stories earlier. If you couldn't catch it, you can join me on LinkedIn where I'm reviewing the document live. LinkedIn or YouTube. Just search for Eno Eka. So let's look at the career development for business analysts. 36% of the business analysts report that there is a defined career path for them in their organization. And 71% says that their employers invest in their skills training for their career development. So that is good. Now, when we ask business analysts, how long do you plan to stay with your current employer? 28% say they plan to change their jobs in 3 to 5 years. And I'm sure a lot of people have already changed their jobs. 15% say they would change a position to receive significant pay increase. And 33% said that they would need to change their employer to receive significant pay increase. Now, this is very common that when you want to get a significant pay increase, you should actually change employers. Because if you're just waiting for the next promotion, it must be a merit increase. It might just be a percentage of your base salary. So to really make that leap 10, 20, 30K higher, you might need to consider changing industries. All right. So we asked business analysts around the world, right? If they wanted to make a career change, where would they go to? What industries? What's their plan? What area? 13% say they want to work in business architecture. 17% say they want to be consultants. 3% in cybersecurity. 17% in data analysis. 11% want to become product managers. 17% product owners, and then 10% project managers. Okay. All right. So let's look at certifications, right? Certifications that were earned, 57% of business analysts say that they hold at least one certification. And a lot of them have earned their certifications by studying, blended learning, online courses, live courses, and all of that. And when we ask business analysts, what are the benefits of certifications? 29% said that they got greater fulfillment at work. 57% says they got higher confidence at work. 24% say that they had a salary increase after getting their certifications. 13% shared that they got a promotion. 23% said they got a job, and so many others said they had all of the above. All right. And when asked how soon did you experience the first benefits from any certification, 27% said they got the benefits of certifications immediately. 31% said they got their benefits in 1 to 6 months. 17% said 6 to 12 months, while 24% says over a year after. Certifications that a lot of BAs have globally, well, we can see that 32% of BAs have the Cbap certification, which is a Cbap, which is the professional certification. So if you have 5 years or more of work experience, then that's the best certification for you. If you have 3 to 4 years, you can take the CCBA, where 5% of people have that. And with the ECBA, it's 7%, the Agile certification, 10%, business data analytics, 3%, and the cybersecurity analysis, 2% of BAs have those certifications. Now, there are some statistics around having certifications, okay? So when you're a business analyst and you hold at least one certification, you get paid 13% more than a non-certified business analyst. Also, the BAs who have the Cbap certification earn 59% more than the non-certified BAs. 59% is a lot of difference, right? Yeah. And then the BAs who hold the Agile certification earn 57% more than the non-certified. So these are things to also think about when you want to start growing in an industry. What are the global certifications? So when people always ask me, I want to start a career in business analysis, I don't know if I should get certifications. Well, it's a global certification. For me, for my story, for example, I got my certification when I was still back in Nigeria, right? I actually had to even go to Ghana to write the exam and get certification. Yeah, flew all the way to Ghana to write the exam, get the certification, compared to now where you can sit in your house anywhere in the world and take the exams. And then, the same certification I got back in Nigeria is what, I was able to use to launch a career here in Canada as a business analyst. So, you want to think about global certifications, regardless of your industry. If I do not live in Nigeria today, if I don't live in Ghana today, if I don't live in Kenya today, if I don't live in Canada today, do I have what it takes to actually get back into my industry in a different country? So these are things to think about. And as you can see, people who are certified tend to earn way more. 59% is a lot. That's a lot, really. That's a lot. Okay. All right. So let's continue. All right. Okay. Now let's look at the skills, right? Let's look at the hard skills that business analysts typically have, right? Generally, globally. So let's look at the hard skills. So coming in at 64% is customer experience. Does anyone have customer experience skills? Let me know in the chat if you do. That is an experience that a lot of business analysts have. And that is because everybody is a customer to the business analyst. We're trying to serve everyone, make them happy, right? Provide solutions for them. So a typical business analyst has that customer experience skills. We're trying to satisfy our customers. Do you have customer experience skills? Let me know. Design thinking. We're always thinking about better ways to do things, right? We're thinking of how to improve the designs of our solutions, right? Making sure they're, human friendly, making sure that it's easy for people to navigate, to get resources. They have an agile mindset. 60% have an agile mindset. 59% have change management skills. 60% have user story skills. 53% have negotiation skills. 72% have critical thinking. 87% have problem solving. 64% have decision making skills. So Common skills are problem-solving skills, are hard skills in business analysis, being able to solve problems, right? Decision-making, being able to make decisions, being able to apply critical thinking, being able to negotiate. If you have those skills, then those are the common hard skills that business analysts have. So when you want to, think about if this is the right career path for you, when skills required, which of these skills do you have currently, right? And if you have at least 3 or 4, that's fantastic. Anyone that you do not have, then you can always learn them. But these are really the hard skills. Hard skills are not using tools. They're actually how you would even use those tools. And that is, the hard skills. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the soft skills. So soft skills that globally tend to have are communication skills. They have very great communication skills. 91%, say that they have communication skills. And these are the soft skills that they've transferred from other roles they previously had. So that's the fantastic thing about business analysis, is that you can leverage the skills you already have. So the soft skills you have, you can transfer them into your business analyst role. So communication skills, creative thinking skills comes in at 81%. Organizational skills, understanding how the organization works. Leadership skills, business analysts are leaders. They're able to lead their team, guide them appropriately. Emotional intelligence as well comes in as another soft skill that BAs have. They need to be emotionally intelligent, understand how people think, how they feel, and make sure that you're using empathy while dealing with people. And then storytelling, being able to tell stories, is actually a key skill for business analysts. So those are the top soft skills that business analysts typically have. Okay. All right. So let's look at the outlook of practicing business analysis. Now we can see that 72% of BAs practice Agile approaches. So Agile is a different framework of managing projects, right? So we can see that as of 2020, 72% of BAs have practiced Agile. So if you want to have a solid career in business analysis, you should definitely take on adopting Agile approaches into your work and also learning more about the Agile approach. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to the Agile approaches, there are several approaches you can use to practice Agile, but the most popular and most used is Scrum. So 83% of business analysts actually use Scrum, while practicing Agile. Okay. All right. So let's talk about digital transformation, because this is actually an important part of why there's a lot of demand for business analysts. Is that, companies' operations have changed. Things have changed in the last, 2 years, and, in the upcoming insights, you're going to even see a higher involvement of digital transformation in what we do as BAs. So when they ask BAs, what are the core business functions that you actually have to use digital initiatives? Where are you actually using digital initiatives in your company? 26% say they use it in marketing, 24% use it in finance, 51% in operations, 14% in maintenance, 16% in supply chain and logistics, 15% in the call centers, right? So every area in the business needs digital transformation. Customer service, 38% are customer service, 23% in sales, 49% in core business processes, and 8% in other aspects of the business, functions of the business. So, this actually gets you thinking. If I work in sales, if I work in marketing, if I work in finance, if I work in operations, if I work in customer service, how can I start to apply digital transformation in my role? How can I ensure that we're going digital, right? We're not still using pen and paper forms and doing all of that. Onboarding is all manual and analog. We're actually using systems. So this is actually one of the reasons why there is that huge surge, in the demand for business analysts. And as you can see, they work in different, business functions, so you actually wouldn't see here, technology function. No, we're going to use technology to make our marketing better. We're going to leverage maybe Instagram ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube, whatever it is to make our marketing better. We're going to analyze our audience and use that as a strategy. We're going to look at our customer service and our call centers, right? And see how we can improve our call centers. We want people to, when they call our call centers, let them be able to speak to an agent in less than 1 minute. We don't want to keep them on hold for a long time. We want to solve their problems in 2 minutes. These are the kind of metrics that business analysts will set and find ways to solve this. So when you're thinking about technology, digital transformation is not something that big that you think about, oh, servers and computers. It's really like down to what you do at work every day, how you make things better, right? So when you're thinking about a career in business analysis, I want you to think about, what do I do today at work? Am I a teller? Am I in customer service? Am I in operations? Am I in marketing? Am I a salesperson? How can I leverage technology? How can I leverage digital transformation right now in the business? Once you start thinking that way, you're thinking like a business analyst, because that's what business analysts do. Fantastic, fantastic. All right. Okay. All right, let's see. So BAs are also involved in cybersecurity. So with the advent of, the pandemic, people having to work from home, people, being able to, onboard, from different locations, there are also going to be the bad people who are going to want to use technology in the bad way. So we also want to make sure that our systems are protected, right? Because every employee is logging into the company servers from different locations. We don't know who the people are around them. We don't know where they're located. We want to make sure that our systems, our servers, our company data is protected. So what we also see is that a lot of the business analysts are actually thinking about, how can we protect our systems? How can we protect our data? We have access to a lot of data, staff data, employee data. How can we protect this? That is where business analysis also comes in. So a lot of the BAs, 18% said they were involved in cybersecurity, helping sure that we're able to actually protect our company, make sure we're able to analyze risk, making sure that we're implementing a lot of compliance, compliance policies and security into our systems. I will definitely see that increase, because now that we're all fully remote, we need to ensure that we're protecting ourselves, and you as well protect your devices, right? There's been a lot of WhatsApp hacks, Instagram hacks, Zoom meeting hacks, so many, to make sure that you use things like two-factor authentications, use tokens to log in, use a VPN, make sure you're logging in from secured browsers, don't click on any links that you're not aware of. These are things that we want to make sure that we're incorporating into the company, and that's where business analysts, come in. We also need to train our people, teach them how to do things, especially people who have never worked from home before. How do we help them to ensure that they're productive working from home? That's where business analysis comes in. So when we think about our organizational strategy, right? When we ask BAs, what is your organizational strategy, right? With your data and your business, they said 54% said that they're using data to help the business to grow sales and revenue. 71% said that they're improving customer experience. 61% said they're building trust and relationships. And 42% says that they're differentiating the business or getting competitive advantage. Okay, so that's really what they're using data for. So when we think about data, a lot of people reach out to me and say, oh, I want to become a data analyst. I'm interested in business analytics. But it's one thing to know how to use the tool, to use Excel, to use SQL, to use Tableau or Power BI. Those are nice tools to learn, right? However, what are you going to use the data to do? What are we doing with the data? How are we going to use that data to help the business? Are we going to try to increase our sales? Are we going to try to improve customer experience? Are we going to try to see how we can take advantage of opportunities in the market? That is where analysis work comes in. So it's not just using the tools, but when you get the data out of, get the data, what do you do with it? How do you leverage the data? So these are the ways that business analysts can actually use data, right? So 38% of business analysts say that they're actually using data, at work. So as BAs, we want to make sure that, we understand how data works. Okay, the skills relevant for data analytics. So if you're interested in data analytics, the skills relevant are 92% is communication, 94% says problem solving, 85% 5% is creative thinking, facilitation skills, 77%, organizational knowledge, 88%, and leadership and influencing skills, 74%, and then having the specialized skills. So it's not just knowing how to do, how to work with data, how to use Excel or SQL or Power BI. It's really how do I communicate the data and how do I use it to solve problems. That's the most important aspect and part of data analytics. Okay, as a business analyst as well. All right. So there's actually some statistics here that I would like to also read out. So even if you're not following, you can just listen. But if you want to see the slides, you can go to my LinkedIn. I posted it on my stories, but I think people can't see it because I'm live. So you can go to my LinkedIn or YouTube, just search Eno Eka, you see me live there. So let's look at India. So in India, 60% of the respondents are aged between 25 to 35, and 68% are male. That's with business analysis. And the average BA work experience in India is about 6 years. Okay. 41% of the respondents in India hold the title of business analyst. 43% have one certification. 9% have a Cbap. 3% have an ECBA. 2% have a CCBA. So India is one country where there's a lot of business analysts, and they're very heavy on tech there. So I'm not surprised with this that 60% of them are between 25 to 35 years old. In Brazil, 34% of the respondents were between 25 to 35. 73% were male. In Brazil, and 36 to 45 years old, 87% were male. So there is a thriving, industry, BA industry in Brazil. 9%, the average work experience for BAs in Brazil is about 9 years of work experience. 34% have the title of business analyst in Brazil, and 9% of the people in BAs in Brazil have the Cbap certification. Now, there's actually information here for Nigeria. If you're joining me from Nigeria, let me know in the chat if you're joining me. Leave a comment. Let me know if you're joining me from Nigeria. Are you joining me from Nigeria? Okay. All right. So let's look at Nigeria. 50% of the people who were of the respondents who were business analysts in Nigeria are 25 to 35 years old. 57% are female. So there are actually more female business analysts in Nigeria than men. Fantastic. Okay. And the average years of experience of business analysts in Nigeria is 5 years. 26% of the people say they actually have the title of business analyst. So when people say, oh, there's no business analyst in Nigeria, I'm not sure there's an industry here, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. There are actually BAs in Nigeria, and Nigeria was captured in this global insights. Okay, 41% actually hold a certification. So 41% of BAs in Nigeria have at least one certification, and 21% have the Cbap certification. So there is a thriving, BA industry in Nigeria. There's a thriving BA practice, as we can see. So make sure that if it's a career path you want to get into it now, because as you can see, there is a boom and there is a surge. In South Africa, 43% of the respondents were 25 to 35. 54% were male. Average years of experience is 7 years. 53% had the title of business analyst. 19% had the Cbap certification. 19%. The certified BAs earned 19% more than non-certified. 8% of them in South Africa had the title of business analyst, and 5% had the ECBA. So there's a couple of other countries. There's Mexico, there's Egypt, there's Romania, there's Ukraine. So these are other countries that were captured there, as well. I'm not going to read through all the other countries, but what I can say is that in Mexico, 59% are male. In Egypt, 76% are male. In Romania, 75% of the BAs are female, and in Ukraine, 59% are female. So we can see in Romania, Ukraine, and Nigeria, we have more females than males in business analysis. If you're a business analyst, let me know in the chat, and you're based in Nigeria. Okay, so let's look at the different countries now. We're dissecting the countries, looking at the different countries. Let's start with the United States of America. The average salary of a BA, a business analyst in the US, was around $104,000 as at 2020, and the average salary for women was around $102,000, and for men was $107,000. Okay. Also, we can see that with regards to the average age, 29% of the people who are business analysts in the US are between 36 to 45. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity for younger people to get into business analysis, because in the US, most of the business analysts are 36 to 45. So if you're 25 to 35, I would say that there's definitely an opportunity for you there. Okay, so in the US, 46% of BAs have a bachelor's degree, while around 35 have a master's degree. What we can see here is for people who work full-time, 85% of women worked full-time, while men was 84%, right? And then for the BAs in the US, the people who had at least one certification were earning $113,000. $113,000 is what the BAs who had at least one certification were earning. The BAs who hold the Cbap certification in the US were earning $121,000, $364. So I'll just say $121,000, 121. Okay. The BAs who also had the Agile certification were earning $124,000. And this was as at 2020. And we can see that there's been a rise in, the demand for business analysts. So I definitely predict a lot of these numbers going up. And I can't wait to see the results of the insights for the global state of business analysis. Okay. All right. So let's look at the top industries where BAs work in the US. So at 23% is finance, insurance, banking. So more BAs work in finance, insurance, and banking in the US. Information technology comes in at 22%, and the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry comes in at 13% for BAs in the US. The top industries where BAs work in the US are consulting and professional services. So there's a lot of consulting or opportunities for BAs, professional services. Think about the big four, like the Deloitte, the KPMGs, Ernst & Young, McKinsey's, then there's so many other, smaller consulting companies. Now, the average pay of a BA in the consulting industry in the US was $146,000. Okay. In the energy industry, the average pay of a BA in the US was $106,000. And other industries, we saw around $114,000 annually for this BAs. And 74% of BAs worked in the private sector, while 11% worked in the government sector. Okay. And then in the US, typical job titles were business analyst slash project manager, IT business analyst, business systems analyst. So these are the typical job titles that these BAs. And then in the US, the top soft skills that BAs have were communication skills, creative thinking skills, and organizational skills. So if you have any of these skills, you're good to go. When they were asked the top responsibilities that they performed at work, 81% said they were performing the core business analysis skills. 58% says they were doing more of process development, and 52% say they were doing more of testing. So they were doing a lot of testing, at work. Okay. And then 50% of the BAs used Scrum, 72% use Agile. As we know, this is like the the top, approach to use right now when it comes to managing projects. 36% of BAs in the USA says they're involved in data analytics. and 17% say they're involved in cybersecurity, right? So that's not doesn't come as a surprise to us, anyways, because we know that with the way things are, we have to stay on top of things with security and privacy. Okay, so now let's look at Canada, right? So let's look at the results for Canada. The average BA salary in Canada was around $108,000, right? In Canada, men earn more than women. As of 2020, the men were earning around $115,000, while the women were earning around $97,000. I kind of feel like this might change as well in Canada, just because there's a lot of women getting into business analysis right now in Canada. Even in the business analysis school, we have more women than men in the program. So although globally there are more men than women in business analysis, in Canada, we can see that there are actually more men than women. But we'll see how that goes. Let's see how 2021 works out. And then the men in Canada were earning 18% more than the women. And this is really because a lot of men don't negotiate their salaries. They don't even know how to leverage their skills and experience. Men would typically negotiate their salaries. Men would typically ask for more, but the women are always so grateful and thankful that they got a job. They're happy to leave home and go back to work. Maybe they took some time off work to nurse their babies, and they don't negotiate their salaries, or they don't even know how to structure their experience and skills so they can actually earn more. And I hope a lot of women are, going to change if you're listening to me right now. Okay. Now, what we also see in Canada is that 33% of the Canadian BAs are 36 to 45. This has to change. We need younger people to come into business analysis. So only 24% were 25 to 35 years old. So we need younger people to come into business analysis. If you're 25 to 35, there's definitely that opportunity for you, right? 43% have a bachelor's degree, and 30% have a master's degree. Okay, so in Canada, the people who have a minimum of one certifications were able to earn at least $87,000, right? However, the people who hold at least one IIBA certification, the average was $115,000. So if you have, any of the IIBA certifications, then you should definitely consider, seeing how you can increase your salary based on the country average. Okay. Also, the average BA who had at least the Cbap was earning around $71,000. And then with the Agile, people who had the Agile certification earned 7% more than. These are things to also consider as well when you're negotiating your salary, when you're getting into the career, is that if I have certifications, I should definitely earn more than a typical business analyst. Okay, 29% of the BAs in Canada have the Cbap, and 6% have the Agile certification. All right. Okay, so let's look at the top industries that BAs work in Canada. We have finance, insurance, and banking at 24%, information technology at 24% as well, and then the government at 13%. So those are the top industries that BAs work at. Top paying industries where BAs work in Canada: energy and utilities. As you know, we produce oil here as well. So there's a lot of oil companies, oil servicing and supporting companies, pipeline companies, energy companies as well, and utility companies as well. And the average pay of a BA in that industry was $153,000. Okay. In healthcare and pharmaceutical industry, the average a BA earned in Canada was $127,000. And then in the finance, insurance, and banking industry, the average was $110,000. So those are the top paid industries as at the last insights that was seen globally, which was at the end of 2020. Looking forward to the end of 2021. The results will be out in a couple of days. So I'd like us to also do another review to actually see what the difference are and what the changes are in this industry. I see that 69% of the BAs work in the private sector, and while 20% work in government. Typical job titles: BA/project manager, business systems analyst. Top 3 skills BAs use: communication skills, creative thinking skills, and organizational skills. Okay. All right, 68% use Agile. So if you want to be, a high paying, highly paid rather business analyst in Canada, you should definitely, and the US, as you can see, you should definitely learn about Agile and incorporate Agile into how you actually carry out your analysis work. 36% work with data and 19% work in cybersecurity. So those are also some stats. Now let's look at the United Kingdom. Okay, the UK. The average BA salary in the UK was £74,000. As you can see in the UK, the men earn more than the women. Men earn around £80,000, while women earn around £66,000, which makes it 19% more than women. The average age of the BA in the UK is 36 to 45, with 32% of people being in that age range. So if you're between 25 to 35 years old, there's that opportunity for you as well in business analysis, as we can see. So we need younger people to get into the business analysis space. Don't think of transitioning years after. This is the right time for you, being that these people will also, grow older and move into the 50s and 60s, and then they're going to have to retire. Okay, 44% of people had a bachelor's in the UK, 33% had a master's degree. So you can see that the master's degree isn't so important. For a lot of these people, you might see that maybe they're in leadership positions, they're managers or directors, so they probably went on to get an MBA. So the average, the average salary of a BA in the UK who had at least one certification was around £75,000. Okay. And the BAs who had the Cbap earned 39% more than people who didn't. And the BAs who had the Agile certification earned 40% more than BAs who didn't. So these are some statistics to also note, okay? Top industries where BAs work in the UK: finance, insurance, and banking. 29% of BAs work in that industry. Information technology industry, 19% of BAs work there. And then in other industries as well. So we can definitely see that, across a lot of countries, a lot of BAs work in finance, insurance, and banking. Why do you think that's the case? You can tell me why more BAs work in finance, insurance, and banking, as you can see. Why do you think more BAs work in those industries? Anyway, let me know in the comments. Top paying industries where BAs work in the UK. Government. So as we can see in other countries, there were, it was in private sector that BAs earn more, but in the UK, BAs earn more when they work with the government in the UK. And the average salary was £129,000 in the education space, so training and education. So BAs who work in the universities and colleges actually earned second highest in £85,000, and the BAs in other industries came in at around £79,000. So these are annual salaries. Okay. And we can see in the UK that 80% of BAs actually work in the private sector. All right. 78% of the BAs actually use Agile use the Agile approach in their work. So you want to also ensure that you're actually, adopting Agile approaches in your analysis work. 32% of the BAs work with data and 18% in cybersecurity. Okay, let's look at Australia, right? In Australia, the average BA salary was around $137,000. As you can see here, men earned $139,000, women earned $137,000 Australian dollars. Average age of the business analyst in Australia was 36 to 45 years old. So 40% of people. So there's still a lot of opportunities for people from 25 to 35 years old to get into the business analysis space. If you already have some experience, 2 to 10 years of experience, use that experience and get into business analysis. All right. So let's look at the average salary for BAs in Australia. So the BAs who have at least one certification, so this could be any certification, were earning 102,000 Australian dollars. And then the BAs who had one IIBA certification at least were earning 138 Australian dollars. The BAs who had the Cbap were earning 11% more than the non-certified. The BAs who had the Agile certification were earning 7% more than the non-certified. So these are also things to note that, okay, if I want income, if I want to increase my influence, then I should be looking at what are the globally, required certifications, or even in my country, what do the BAs here earn? So we can also see in Australia that the top industries where BAs work is finance, insurance, and banking again. Why finance, insurance, and banking? 25% in that industry, information technology, 19%, and in the government, 12%. In the government, we have 12% there. Okay. Top paying industries where BAs work in the US, the government. So just like in the UK, in Australia as well, the top paying industry is working with the government. The average BA earned 160,000 Australian dollars. Healthcare and pharmaceutical industry was $157,000. And information technology, IT, was $149,000. So as you can see in Australia, 68% of BAs work in the private sector, while 21% work in government. Okay. The same thing here, 74% of the BAs use Agile. So you want to ensure that you're actually learning more about the Agile approaches, using it in your analysis. 36% work with data. They perform data analysis in their roles, and 22% actually were involved in cybersecurity. So these are actually the results, as at last year, for, BAs globally, right? We could definitely see some similarities across different countries and different regions when it came to, the salaries, the people in the industry, the industries where they were working, industries that paid the best. So these are things to have in mind and to note when you're making that transition and understanding, how you can position yourself for better opportunities. Okay. So this insights is done annually by the IIBA. The 2021 insights are going to be out in the coming week, and I can't wait to actually review it and see how things change. As we can see, with digital transformation, there is a high adoption of digital initiatives, skills like in data, in cybersecurity, skills like increase in storytelling, increase in communication, increase in design thinking. These are things that companies are looking out for. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to stop sharing. But why do you think that a lot of BAs work in finance, insurance, and banking? And why do you think a lot of them also make more money in finance, insurance, and banking? Why do you think that industry is like one of the highest paying? Let me know what you think. If you work in that industry as well, you can also tell me why that's the case. Anybody? Anybody? Why do you think the finance industry generally pays better than other industries? I'm not sure why I'm not getting the chats from LinkedIn or Facebook. So sadly, probably won't be able to see the chats. Okay. Well, one thing I know for sure is that when it comes to the finance, insurance, banking, is that those are industries that have always adopted digital transformation. They are industries that have always leveraged technology in everything they do, from their mobile apps to their online banking to the technology they use, their core banking solutions, to all their digital wallets, to all the services they provide with loans, mortgages, credit cards, debit cards, account opening, trades, foreign trades, local trades. There's a lot of technology and systems behind those things, and because of that, the finance industry is they adopt things quickly. They're also very tech savvy. They want to always see how they can use technology to make things better. And Eric says they control the management sector. which is very true. We all depend on finance, we all depend on banks, we all depend on insurance. These are industries that everybody uses. Personally, you would have your own insurance. Companies have their insurance. You have your own personal bank accounts. Companies have their bank accounts. So they're very, very what's the word I'm trying to find now? They're very, I want to say, agile, in the sense that things change very quickly there. They're adopting new technologies all the time, and then it's also a highly regulated industry. So there are lots of regulations, and they have to quickly adapt, right? They have to quickly change things to meet with their regulators' policies. So these are the reasons why there's a lot of BAs there. And something that was really interesting that we talked about was how we can apply digital transformation in all the in all the different business functions, in the call center, in customer service, marketing, sales, finance, operations, you name it. You can. Thank you, Tammy. They drive the economy. Fantastic. I love that. Everything where it says they project for the coming year, decide fast, they deal with lots of people. Thank you. JP says they're very innovative. Innovative was the word I was trying to remember. Yes. So these are the reasons why. And then of course, other industries like energy, utilities, we will always still need electricity. We'll need oil and gas, right? We need crude oil. Those industries will always still be there. Alternative renewable energy is also there as well. What other industries did we see? Government. Why do you think that there's a lot of BAs in the government, and why government is one of the high paying industries for BAs? Why do you think that's the case? Anybody, why do you think that's the case? So of course, just like the finance industry as well, yeah, we saw consulting as well. Yeah, I'm going to get to consulting. Just like the finance industry, the government is actually the government is actually bigger than what we think or what we see, right? Because they're just like every other company that has several departments, right? And governments, they change, things change, they handle the affairs of people. Thank you. Things change a lot there. There's always new policies when a new governor is in, or president or prime minister or whatever. Policies will always change, right? And the government actually uses a lot of technology, right? Because there's people's data, people's information, from the tax system, to the healthcare system, to the educational system. So privacy is a big deal with government, right? So protecting their files, their records, digitizing their files and records, protecting data as well is key. And then of course leveraging data as well, leveraging technology. What we also see is that a lot of the government institutions are actually, they, before even COVID, a lot of them have been adopting a lot of digital transformation. Government offices used to be very analog, right? You have to fill a form, you have to do this. But right now we can see how things are so different. You can pay your taxes online. You can do a lot of things you want to do online. So they're also finding how to, they're trying to reduce their cost as well. Thank you, Stelly. So those are the things that the government is also implementing, that you can see that there's a lot of digital transformation there as well. And that's why they need BAs. Consulting. So you think about the consulting companies like the Deloitte, the KPMGs, the PwCs, the EYs, McKinsey. They're always doing a lot of analysis, right? I want to say that the earliest BAs were people who worked in those industries, because they started doing analysis work years ago. They're always analyzing, seeing what's new in the industry, what are the changes. I remember before the year 2000, before we entered the new millennium, there was a lot of adoption of technology, and a lot of these consulting companies were the ones that were telling companies that, hey, as we go into this new millennium, these are some new technologies you can start to use. That became the boom of a lot of companies like Oracle, like SAP. That's why we started having all these ERPs, enterprise resource planning systems. programs whereby with one program, with one system, we can actually have everything. Before, HR will have their own system, accounting will have their own system, marketing will have their own system, operations, and then all the systems don't work together. But of course, what these consulting companies did is to see that, hey, we can actually help you, implement a lot of these things. So these consulting companies work for the other companies, say, for example, my business is ABC Limited, and I want to expand, I want to grow, I want to see how I can, maybe enter a new country, move my services to another country, or I want to launch a new product, and I don't really know if this is going to work. I can hire a consultant, right, or hire a consulting company, and they can actually do the analysis work for me, give me their recommendations, help me with implementing, right? When I worked with a financial institution and we're upgrading our system, we actually worked with KPMG, so they were the consultants on that project. So we had a team of BAs and project managers and everybody that was involved in that project. However, KPMG, they were the lead consultants. They were helping to put us in check, help making sure that documentations were done right. They were making sure that we were following the regulatory policies. So they were there to actually guide us, right? And we would have status meetings like every week and all of that. So other industries, actually employ the consulting companies, right? So that is why there's also that boom there. And that's why we see like a lot of BAs work there. Now, the truth is, when you look at, if you see I posted something this week where I shared, the fact that there's a lot of demand for BAs, but nobody's applying for those jobs. You will see that a lot of them are consulting, a lot of them are, banking, finance, insurance, or IT. And of course, with the IT industry, of course, they'll always need BAs because when they want to implement technologies, BAs are the ones that help them to do that. Badigo says the government is trying to eliminate and mitigate bureaucratic process that they are known for, find new processes and achieve tasks faster. That's true. Things are so easy right now. In fact, there are so many things that you get to do right now that before you would have had to maybe go to a government office, fill out a form and all of that. Now, a lot of these things are done online. Now you can pay your taxes, you can prepay, a lot of your bills to the government, right? You can do all of those things. You can fill forms, you can get all of those things. Right now in Canada, our COVID vaccination is now digitized. So when I'm going into a building and I just show them my QR code, they scan it and I enter the building, right? And then of course they confirm my name, right? So these are the things that, we as BAs can actually help our organizations to see how they can think outside of the box, help them to, adopt technology, adopt digital transformation, everything that they do. So yeah, so those were the insights. And I thank you for joining me to review them and to see, what the industry is looking like, what the insights are, and how things could be different, in the coming year. I'm actually excited to see what the new global state of business analysis is, as we can see that there is a huge adoption of digital transformation and there's a huge demand for business analysts. So if you're trying to get into the industry, I say the best time is now. You can use the experience you have. As you could see with the skills we talked about, a lot of the skills you already have in your role, your current role. And like it was shared, they are transferable skills. So you can learn, new skills and then also use the skills you already have to get into that industry. Okay, so I'm going to let everyone go so that we can enjoy our weekend as well. You want to start your BA career, you can go to businessalysisschool.com, where you learn how to use your experience to land six-figure jobs in business analysis. You want to join our business analysis programs, fantastic. You can, check my post. I shared stuff about that, or send a message. That's fine. We are currently doing a Black Friday offer, which has been extended for the remainder of the weekend. For those who even can't join right now, then they can join in January. So some people said, "Oh, I can't join right now. I want to join in January." Fantastic! You can actually secure your spot at a discount. So Eric says, he said there's also a lot of work to do with tax and payroll. The financial sector works closely with the government, financial institutions, control, generate funds, support government projects. This enables the government to work closely to clear financial tax issues. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. What else did Eric David say? He also said something. He said it involves a lot of work for companies to invest in financial experts to handle analysis and tax payroll. He said the German system of the government take it as a crime for companies failing to work well. That is interesting. Yes, you can definitely watch the replay. I will save the replay. It's going to be on my LinkedIn. It's saved on my LinkedIn, on my YouTube, and then also on Instagram. You'll be able to watch the replay if you couldn't catch everything. Does anyone have any questions before we call it a wrap? Anyone have any questions? I really like to see data. I like to see the facts, right? Because these are actually, people's experiences. These are actually things that are really, happening. And I like to see that, there were other countries, not just the big countries like Canada, US, the UK, but we saw, Egypt, Mexico, Nigeria, India, South Africa, right? So these are other countries that are adopting business analysis, adopting digital transformation. I like to see that Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, these are like South Africa. These are countries where there's a lot of tech companies, tech startups coming up. And of course, they need business analysts, they need product owners, product managers, and those are opportunities for you. They need data analysts, they need BAs who would help them with cybersecurity, with data analytics. So those are, no, Jacobs, it doesn't. That's Jacobs 43. No, it doesn't. So these are opportunities for you. So that's the Global State of Business Analysis reviewing 2020. We definitely would review. Okay. Oh, yes. Colin said, would BA be relevant in the blockchain and internal audits? Of course, absolutely. I shared earlier, I don't know if you joined earlier, but I did share that with digital transformation, there's also the need to also protect, right? So put checks in place and make sure we have an audit process, fraud analysis is in place, risk management, data control, securities, and all of that. So you can actually use your experience in anti-money laundering, internal audits, governance, fraud, right? You can use that to work as a business analyst, working as a fraud business analyst, working as an AML business analyst, as a governance and compliance business analyst. So these are opportunities for you. And then, of course, if you want to work in the blockchain, you definitely can. There are, courses on the blockchain, on cryptocurrency, and, how that is going to work. And you can actually work in those companies as well. So the truth is, you can choose to work in the companies that use those technologies, the companies that provide those technologies, companies that support those technologies as well. Or you can choose to use the skills you already have there. So good question, Collins. You can actually still be very relevant in that industry. I think you joined us later because earlier we looked at all the different industries where BAs work, and even within the organization, the different business functions where we can actually practice business analysis. So you can definitely watch the replay later. Thank you everyone who joined. Yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys sometime later. Feel free to send a message or reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone who contributed. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Bye.